Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Toon review, and this is the match review for the Chelsea 1, Newcastle United 1 end of season match that took place yesterday at Stamford Bridge. The final day of the season. What a season it's been, and to for the last game of the season, stay undefeated and stay undefeated in London as well for the whole season. It's been a while since we said that, hasn't it, Billy? Been unbeaten in London for a
season. I don't remember a season where we have been undefeated in London. One time, of course, it was a real bogey place for us to go. Some seasons we didn't even draw there, win there. So, yeah, it's a very good season for us down in the capital.
Just tops off the season than what we've had. But anyway, guys, hope you guys do go on to enjoy this live stream. If you do, please hit a like button. It really, really means a lot. Just keeps us up there in the recommendation pages with YouTube, so people can just find this channel a little bit easier than going to the search bar and typing up the Toon review. So then more viewers can come in and watch our shows. Make sure to subscribe as well. As you know, we have reached over 20,000, but don't worry, we'll have a show. Even though Paul isn't here, we felt it's only right for Paul to celebrate it with everyone. So we'll do a separate show on the 20k later down the line. But big thank you to all you guys for subscribing. Welcome to the new subscribers watching it. If you just find this channel, please, and if you are new and you do like we see and you're not subscribed, what the hell are you doing? Click the subscribe button as well. And if you want to donate, click the $sign in the live chat below. Right, let's kick this off then. We're going to kick it off with a few comments. Ian's in the chat, Spacebar's in the chat, Stu's there. Dave says here, evening TTR team and mods and all in chat. What a season. Looking forward to see you signs now. Exciting summer ahead. It is an exciting summer ahead, isn't it, Alex? New sponsors, new signings, new everything.
It is, yeah. I mean, things have started moving already. Today, mostly. We've had, I think it started yesterday. We had a lot of in the nose talking about Soboslai again. And then today, a lot more people have started talking about it. Whether it's true or not, we'll have to wait and see. Declan Rice rumours today that he's already spoken to Bayern Munich. So things have started moving in terms of, whether it's rumours or not, we'll never know. But I'm sure we'll start to be involved in that. Eddie Howe mentioned he hadn't done anything regarding transfers, but was about to, obviously, after the season had finished. So presumably these talks are going to have started. I'm not sure whether they will have worked through Bank Holiday Monday. Possibly. They've got a lot to do. So we'll see in the coming weeks. Hopefully we can get some things, whether it's a transfer, I don't know, but hopefully we can get something sorted earlier on in the window this time instead of very late. I'd like to see some early moves, whether it's for academy players, pre-contracts, extending contracts, just something of substance in the first couple of weeks would be nice.
I mean, that's what we did last summer. We got Botman in, we got Pope in, we got Target on a permanent deal. I think that's the sort. I mean, if I was a manager, I'd want to get my signings in really, really early to get him into the team, get him into pre-season, because we know Gordon's going to have a good pre-season. Pat Ashby, Miley, got a few players who are going to have a good pre-season, and Eddie Howe will definitely want the new signings in before pre-season, so he has a full understanding of the players and a full month of a summer working with the players. So, I definitely get them in earlier. Tom says here, yes, amazing news to have smashed past 20k. Hopefully it'll go further, as an old TTR song used to go, keep on rising. Don't forget to hit that likes too. Indeed, Tom. Don't forget to hit them likes. Wes is here. Good evening, TTR fam. Hope you're all well. What a season, man. And it's only the beginning. How are the lads? It is only the beginning. And it's only going to get better from here with Champions League next season. Cockeyed Cyclops says here, hello from a hot Salt Lake City. Wonder where he is. Spike Milligan says here, evening TTR family. Hope everyone's good. I'm satisfied with a draw, but would have preferred a win to end of the season on. Oh yeah, we wouldn't have liked to go out on a loss, would we, Billy? But still, like I said, undefeated in London. But yesterday's game, just like an average end of season game. Chelsea had nothing to fight for. Newcastle, yes, we could have got third, but look, it's a good season. We came there to just play football, enjoy it, play your other players, and I think we certainly did that.
Yeah, I think to all neutrals watching the game, that they've enjoyed it. It was exciting, entertaining, attacking flair from both sides, to be perfectly honest. And the Chelsea fans must have been thinking, where's the team been all season? Because they didn't put half the effort in through the season. They didn't look half as good. A little bit of gelling happened yesterday. Madueke, who's hardly played, was outstanding for them. So there's definite mismanagement at Chelsea, and we did well to contain them, to be honest. It was a good game of football, but end-to-end stuff at most of the time. And I was lucky that I wasn't having to commentate in the first half, so poor Alex had to keep going like a horse racing commentator from one end to the next, like a basketball game at times.
Yeah, it was very lively.
It was very lively indeed. It looked very hot there in London. It was very back and forth. Madueke had a lot of the ball, I thought. And I think I was very impressed with Madueke. I was very impressed. I don't think he had a good game against Man United. I was a bit confident going into this game, but since I saw Madueke pop up, I'm like, wow, he's a talent. He's a good player, and he's obviously in the under-21 squad. Where's Paul tonight, lads? He's just not in the right mind frame, but he'll be back. He'll be back later. He'll be back soon. Billy, who's that on your T-shirt? It says "Call me Swift." Who is it, Billy?
John Lennon.
John Lennon, indeed. From the Beatles. Dominic Harvey says, hi, Toon Review team, and all the best to Paul. Hope he's back soon. I'll try as long as possible. Just listen to Stato. Wow. John, first to say, I believe it's Lennon. It is Lennon indeed. What's your favourite song of Mr. Lennon, Billy?
Solo stuff, I would say, probably Mind Games, but my favourite stuff is the Beatles with his. Same with McCartney and the rest of them, so.
Yeah, I prefer the songs from the Beatles, if I'm being honest. Right, anyway, let's move on. This is our starting 11 yesterday. Obviously, a lot of changes in there. Dubravka, I thought he did a great game yesterday. Obviously, Pope couldn't play. He's just had a surgery on his finger. Trippier, normal. Cher, Botman. Target gets a run out. I thought that was fair. Burn deserves a rest, so I thought Target was a good option to bring on. Surprised by Bruno. I thought I wouldn't really risk him with an ankle problem, but he wants the place to play him. Gordon in the midfield, getting it, just, you know what I mean? Just a few players get the run-outs, isn't Alex? Just a few players get the run-out if they don't play normally every other week. So it's good to give him a good run-out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we could have dropped Bruno. I think we rotated as much as we could and still guaranteed being competitive. Like, I think if we'd have dropped Bruno out as well, we wouldn't have had enough in midfield. I mean, Chelsea dominated us for possession. They did have most of the control of the game once it settled down. And that was purely just because of our lineup. You can see that we don't quite have the depth. Although you know that they're not bad players. That we've got a lot of developing players in that lineup that generally play in different positions. You know, Gordon's more of a wide forward. Anderson's more of a wide forward. They both played in midfield, and it showed. You know, we couldn't control the game because of that, and we were missing that little bit of physicality as well. But it was interesting. I think it was a bit harsh for Target. You know, he's not got many minutes, and then to come in against Madueke, who that's probably, I would say, has there been any better right wing performances against us this season? I'd probably say that was one of the better ones, if not the best, and probably the most. You know, because Dan Burns done very well against his opposite number whenever he's played. I think he would have struggled as well equally because Madueke was an absolute nightmare to contain. But it was nice to get a run out for most of the lads. It was also good to see. It was, you know, I'm over the Dubravka thing now. I think it's been a long enough time. It was nice to see him play, and I thought he was actually quite tidy as well. It looks like he's added a few more strings to his bow. One occasion of sweeping, visibly better with his feet than Pope is as well, which, you know, it was noticeably better. So we'll see. Maybe Pope's got his work cut out in the summer.
I think Dubravka was very good yesterday. I thought a few saves, nearly scored as well. A few saves, very, very close. But I think Dubravka was very, very good. We've got a £5 super chat from Peter Bill. Cheers, Peter. How good did Lewis Miley look for a 17-year-old? Yeah, he's a proper talent, isn't he, Billy? He's proper talent. I was very impressed, and obviously nearly scored as well. Hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, when he came on the pitch, he looked younger than you, Jack. You know, he looked like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Once he got on that pitch, he didn't look out of place at all. In attack and defended, he was really good. Very, very, very big prospect for the future. I think Eddie Howe's the right man to manage him as well. some managers might be keen to get him in and play him week in, week out and burn him out. We've seen that a million times before, but I don't think that'll be the way with young Lewis Miley. I think he's going to be something special. I really do.
Tom says here, of course, McCartney wings were the only band the Beatles could have ever been. I think I went to a Beatle thing in Liverpool 3 years ago, and I must say I'm a big fan of the Beatles. I do like the Beatles a lot. As most know, I want Dubs out, but what a performance from him yesterday! It's a bit of here and go with Dubravka. I mean, we know because we went to the Manx, and I think after yesterday's performance, Dubravka will want the first team. You want to go to a team where he gets first team experiences and wants to play week in, week out like Pope does. Do you see that coming, Alex? I think we talked about it on a transfer show or something like that. Do you think Dubravka will want first team football next season?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you think about the reasons why he went to Manchester United on loan, it was because obviously they were in more competitions and he thought he would get a chance to play in a European competition. He would maybe get 10 or 15 rotation appearances if he was lucky. And now going into next season, that's the position we find ourselves in as a club. So, and we will probably give him more of a chance than he got at Man United, and we like him a lot more, and there's slightly less pressure on him as well. So I think this is probably the perfect place for him to be, really. And he's obviously still got a contract with us, so it's not an issue. I mean, when is his contract expiring? It is until June 30th, 2025. So we've got him penned down for another 2 seasons, and he is 34. So I think we might as well, unless we get a decent offer for him, it's probably just worth hanging on to him, really, because he'll be useful as a backup keeper. I mean, as backup keepers go, are there really that many better backup keepers in the Premier League?
Can't think of any, to be honest.
I was going to say Kelleher, but he let in 4 goals yesterday, so that's gone out the window. But yeah, I think Dubravka is one of the best backup keepers in the Premier League because he's definitely showed it. Of course, I don't think he's better than Pope, but I think he's a very, very good backup and should stay at Newcastle. Niall says here, Lewis Hall looks decent for them. Might be worth a bid. Maybe not worth a bid, but he was very, very good. I was very impressed with Lewis Hall yesterday. He causes a few problems. He causes quite a few problems. Do you want to show that now, Alex? I think Alex.
You can do. You're talking about him.
Alex got this thing about Lewis Hall here. Go take it away, Alex.
Well, I brought him up as soon as his name came up. Still 18 years old, of course, came through the Chelsea Academy, 5'10". If we go down and have a look at how he's spiking statistically, bear in mind it is only 654 minutes this season, so it is a very small sample size. Take it with a pinch of salt. But in a poorly performing Chelsea side, this is rather impressive. Successful take-ons is high, carries, his passes are nice and tidy, sort of 80% pass completion, attempting a lot of passes. His shot-creating actions is through the roof for a fullback. And his expected assists is also in the top 2% in Europe. So shot volume as well for a fullback. Tackles and interceptions is ludicrously high, and he's being compared to sort of your Estepinians and your other Chelsea fullbacks in Ben Chilwell and Reece James. So yeah, he is rather good, but I don't think we're going to get him out of Chelsea unless they decide to, take a bid because they need to sort of balance FFP. If they see themselves maybe in a situation where they've got to balance the books and use Cucurella, then you never know, but probably not.
No, he's a class player, and we know Chelsea are gonna let go of a few players because they did just overspend in the summer and January, so they are gonna have to sell quite a few players this summer. Clarky says here Chelsea did a lap of apology. They are still there now. Wow, they are indeed.
Apparently, they've agreed personal terms with Ugarte, so the spending spree shows no sign of slowing down, which is very strange.
I've seen a comment on that. I think I've seen a comment on that. Chelsea have agreed something on someone, but I'll go back to it later on. But anyway, let's talk about the first goal then, shall we? Let's talk about the first goal. Well worked goal. Literally 7 minutes in. Working it around the back. Went to Share. We know he's good. We know his long passing is a joke. He just hits it wide to Maxi. A lovely overlap from Anderson. Gives it Anderson. He fizzes it into the box, and who's there? The one, the only, Anthony Gordon. What a well-worked goal, wasn't it, Billy? Well worked. I was so impressed with that goal. And who would you rather have on the end of that to boost his confidence? The only one, Anthony Gordon. So happy for him.
Yeah, let's be honest, he couldn't really miss, could he? He was only a yard out, but I mean, credit for him to get in the right position. I mean, we've had strikers in our squad this season that wouldn't have got to that ball, wouldn't have been in the right position. Brilliant move, great ball from Cher, good awareness from Maxi, fantastic ball across from young Elliot Anderson, and the way with Anthony Gordon had the wherewithal get across his defender, get in front of the goalkeeper and tap it into a virtually empty net. Really good goal, really well worked goal, and quite clever from Anthony Gordon to come in from his wing into the centre, get across his defender. I thought it was a really good goal.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the goal, Alex? Were you very impressed with it? I was.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite shocked that we got that sort of move to pay off so quickly. I think in the live commentary I mentioned like 2 minutes before, I was quite happy with the link-up play between Maxi, Anderson and Isak, and then two of those three literally linked up for the goal straight away. So Cher's long switch, which, if Carragher said was an accident, sometimes it's definitely not. Whenever we bring in another centre back, we definitely need to make sure that whoever they are can do what Cher does as well, long ball wise, because we've had quite a number of goals from that. I mean, Cher doesn't get the credit assist wise or anything, but he is definitely the creator in that. So the space opens up for Maxi to run into. And for the Maxi haters, this is proof of what he can bring to the team. They overcommitted to St. Maximin, which meant Anderson had that space, and then he pulled a nice ball back, and Gordon was very alert. I mean, that's what you've got. You've got somebody playing in midfield arriving late, but because he's got the instincts of a forward, he was in the right place. So it was just everything that could have gone right went right in the build-up to that goal, and it was perfectly executed. I think Kepa was quite poor, could have done a little bit better, rooted to the line for some reason. Easy tap-in for Gordon, but it was a nicely worked goal from the training pitch, from goalkeeper all the way to scoring. So beautiful.
And that was all down to, yes, our great work, but Chelsea were absolutely diabolical defending from that. Not even tracking Gordon, not even getting near him. And Gordon was there to tap in. But not long later, Chelsea had a free kick. The defence was caught off. The late to Sterling. Sterling cuts in. Poor shot. I don't know what he was going for. Probably a shot. But then it's just one of them things, Billy. When the ball comes through, your defence is a little bit panicky and it just bobbles everywhere and just somehow ends in the nets. It's just so frustrating. But I mean, that was our defence. That was. I think we were sleeping a little bit and we got caught out.
No, I wasn't sure it was a free kick in the first place. If I'm perfectly honest, I thought it was quite an erroneous decision by the referee. Albeit, once the free kick was taken, we did go to sleep on that left-hand side. To allow the shot to get in the first place was pretty iffy. Couldn't really fault Trippier. He was just trying to get back. What could he do? Is he half from goal? Any touch is going to go in, and it did. Don't really blame him for that. But I think stopping the shot from coming in would have been the best way of stopping that goal. And they didn't really get any closer, Sterling, did they? It was, well, I will say I didn't think it was a free kick in the first place. I think we were half out with there.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the Chelsea goal, Alex? Do you think we were asleep at the back?
Yeah. So, I mean, I mentioned this at the time that I think it was more because of the personnel changes. Because there were so many personnel changes, we weren't alert to, we weren't. I mean, what's the right way of phrasing this? We weren't all in the sort of defensive positions we should have been. We weren't alert to the fact that Sterling could have received the ball, did receive the ball. However, we do seem to get caught on that even when Dan Burn's playing anyway, because he ends up being central because of his height. So that is an area we really need to work on, because we seem to get done on that side all the time, whether it's Target or Burn playing. A little bit disappointed that Target got done by quite a simple cutback from Sterling. I know Sterling's got a low centre of gravity and all of that. However, you got to do better than that, really. We could do with people, trying to get the block in and not going to ground straight away. And then it was just a little dink from Sterling, and it's what happens. It came off a number of people before it hit Trippier and then went in. It was just one of those. It was unfortunate, and it could have been easily avoided had he been picked up in the build-up. Yeah. So it's combination of down to the coaching staff and potentially down to whoever coordinates the set piece structure, whether it's Trippier or Dubravka or a combination of them. It's just one of those things where it's so different to how we normally set up to defend from a set piece. Just miscommunication, and it can, we ended up conceding because of it.
Arani Granny says here, if Leicester signed Dubravka, they would have stayed up.
I think you're right. I think Arani Granny's right there. I think they've struggled for a goalkeeper all season, to be honest.
There was talk of that. There was talk of us a little swap from Dubravka for Maddison in the summer, but obviously it never happened. But quickly moving on, Jason's got a bit of a dream team here for Newcastle United. Pope, Trippier, Kim J, Botman, Tierney, DePaul, Bruno, Big Dom, Maddison, Isaac, and Big Joe. Wow. That is a Christmas list and a half, isn't it, Alex?
Well, yeah, because then you'd still have Maxi, Wilson, Miggy, Willock all on the bench. And that's, that's going to be an expensive Christmas list, though, for the summer.
I wouldn't get that list joking here. We'd come back with Dominic Calvert-Lewin for starters, wouldn't he?
Nah, he's Big Dom.
One thing it's worth remembering as well, and obviously we'll talk about this in transfer shows, but it's worth remembering there is also a January transfer window, so we don't have to go and blow the lot immediately. We can sort of get a smattering of signings in January. We could bring in sort of another one to supplement it, depending on how we're doing in the season. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But how much do you reckon that will cost? I mean, Kim and Jay's been linked to quite a few big teams. How much? And then you got DePaul, you got Tierney, who we are linked with, Shabozlai. I mean, Maddison. That's quite expensive, and that's quite
over 200. That list.
Yeah, well over 200. And yeah, like Alex said, we have got January, Jason. So we have got plenty of windows in one season. So we may just buy a few players in the summer, enough to keep us level in the Champions League or whatever Europe competition we may be in, or Premier League status, and then we'll see what we can add in the January transfer window. Scott says here, Maddison, Shabozlai and Torres, 160 million, job done. Okay, so Scott. Dino says here, if Howe said he wants to keep Dummett, who hasn't played all season, what's the thoughts? Why? And what players could be used to offload to get players in? Any thoughts?
Well, he's there for the homegrown thing into the European Championship, isn't he? The homegrown talent that we have to have in our squad. Club trained players that have been there between the ages of 15 and 21, I believe, who have trained. So Dummett fulfills that. So does Longstaff. We need
Miley.
4 of them. We need 4.
Miley, Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would be the 4.
Anderson.
That would be the 4
Who
potentially.
Else? I don't think we've got anyone else, have we? We haven't got anyone else.
No, otherwise we'll have to bring in players like Fraser Forster, like Kevin and Barbie, them kind of players. So
depends what we're going to do with Matty Longstaff or anyone like that. Depends what we're going to do with them sort of players. But yeah, we haven't got too many homegrown players in the squad at the minute, so we need to improve that to get into the Champions League. Julie Jace is here. Lewis Hall, definitely a prospect for the future. Indeed. I mean, like, when he came on, didn't put a foot wrong. Nearly came close to scoring. But, I mean, he's definitely one for the future. And I think
he's good enough now. I don't think he's one for the future. I think he looked more than competent. Up to speed physically, tactically, technically. He looked comfortable to be fair, I think that was a good Chelsea side. I don't think they're that bad. I think they've been massively underperforming. I think if they get a decent manager like Pochettino, I think they'll be really good next season. They've got good balance. They just need a striker ideally, but because then Kunku's coming in, who is also not a striker. So, but you don't have to have a 9. I mean, Guardiola made it work for a long time with false 9s. So if they can get somebody in,
and of course got Brozier as well. I think so. Brozier's probably come back from his injury next season, so I mean, he'll be a year older, a year more experienced. People like Lewis Hall,
Hudson-Odoi coming back.
Yes, they have. Yeah, I mean, Lewis Hall was their best player against St James's as well, so it's not a one-off for him. He's a really, really good player.
Yeah, but they are missing that. I mean, isn't Nkunku a centre forward? So that's a false 9. But I mean, the striker market nowadays is very, very expensive. I mean, you got Osimhen going for over 100 million, you got Kane 100 million. The striker market is absolutely unbelievable. But one thing I do want to touch on: did anyone watch the Gordon interview after the game? He was saying that when he first came in, he really struggled because he was struggling in fitness. All the Newcastle players were a step above. Well, you're going to notice that, aren't you? Coming from Everton, from Frank Lampard to Eddie Howe, you're obviously going to be a step behind. But then he's the way he was talking, the way he was thinking, Billy, he was just so determined that he was going to go to the under-21 Euros and come back fitter, stronger, and wants to get in the starting 11 and wants to be one of the best at Newcastle United. The determination on that lad is incredible.
Yeah, good for him. He obviously is not happy with the way he's performed so far. He understands why. He understands that he hasn't. A lot of it's not his fault. He's been kind of different positions on the pitch. But I think next season, after a good pre-season, like you say, I think it'll come good for us. I think it'll be a real big asset in our team. I don't think it'll be in every week. I think it'll be a rotator. I think there'll be a few of them like that. But I think it'll come good. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Vincent says here, where are Barca getting this money from? They would have to sell players, and we would not accept 87 million for Bruno anyway. Bruno's not going anywhere, mate. Bruno, don't worry. You can sleep tonight. Bruno isn't going anywhere. Bruno going to be named in many shopping lists, but they won't get the purchase they're looking for. One thing and speak about Bruno and Brazilian. Big congrats to Big J7, Big Joe for getting the Brazil squad. Absolutely brilliant, isn't it, Alex? I mean, it was coming for a while. He deserves that without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, realistically, he's been touted for transfers. You know, I think he's been talked about for Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Liverpool primarily has been the name that keeps coming up. Obviously, we've got no reason or need to sell him, so he's staying as far as we're concerned. He is peak age monster midfielder, and he deserves his call up. I think Eddie Howe literally said, you know, he was unlucky not to have gone to the World Cup. Really, I think he offered Brazil something different. And they went out because they didn't have something different. They couldn't break down. I think it was Croatia. Croatia, you know, notoriously difficult to break down. And we've seen Joe Linton several times this season for us when we've struggled to break teams down. He's just gone and done it on his own. He's forced it just with his physicality and sheer determination. You know, he's a senior player at this point. And just being as we're on the topic of him, you can see statistically here, he's doing very well. 7 XG, so he should have an extra goal and an extra assist, really. But 6 goals this season from 32 appearances. We could probably do with extending his contract, really. He's only got 2 years left. If we go down and have a little look at his stats for the season, how they have changed. Look at that transformation there. Defensive numbers are in every department through the roof. And then progressive carries is insane. Successful take-ons is insane as well. And I think that's through pure physicality more than technical ability, if anything. Shots volume is really, really nice. And you can see who he's, well, look at that. If that's praise, I don't know what is. He's second stat match is Jude Bellingham on that list. Wow. So you can see how good his season's been. He's definitely...
what he click on the other one, Galaxy, attacking midfielders, wingers, because he obviously fulfills more than one role in our team.
If we put him in his funny left wing position, it goes to this. So his defensive contributions as a winger is insane. Tidy pass completion, and then there's a bit of a drop off, but he's got still high in successful take-ons and progressive passes. Not as good with the progressive carries, but I mean that is when you carry the ball, at least 10 yards from his furthest point. So still pretty decent. And who does he compare to when he's an attacking midfielder? Interesting people though. We've still got Felipe Anderson at Lazio at the moment, Jordan Ayew. So not quite as impressive when you put it on this list. Although Salamakers is very good for Milan. But still, very, very impressive numbers here from Joe Linton. Thoroughly deserved.
I mean, you wouldn't be seeing them. You wouldn't be seeing them a few years ago, would you? When he gets in front of goal, slips over or something like that, or just fails. Honestly,
I'm going to have to go back and find shows we've done where we've looked at Joe Linton. I'm really curious as to see what those stats were like 12 months ago, 2 years ago. That'd be very interesting.
It's just ridiculous. I've never seen something like it. I just never seen anything like it. I mean, we've slowly seen one with Longstaff, but not even Longstaff compares to what Joel Linton was doing. We know Longstaff was bad, but Joel Linton was beyond bad. We were literally like, hold on a minute, we spent 40 million on this guy, and he can't even kick a ball in front of a net. And now look, when the ball came over against Spurs, took a touch, took it round the keeper, the composure. I said 2 years ago, he would have hit that up into the away end, into the heavens. Look at the difference in Big Joe. I'm just so... I know we're all happy for him, but this is just ridiculous how good he's been now and how good Eddie Howe has turned him into. It's a bit of a joke, really. Jordy Hawaymans is here. I think Miggy yesterday showed he's a good squad player, but we need an upgrade. I don't think Miggy was up to it, but I don't think a lot of players were up to it yesterday because it is the last game of the season. You got nothing to fight for. You're on the beach, really, and just get this last game of the season over and done with, then get into pre-season, get a rest for a month until July, get into pre-season, and get ready for the next season, Billy.
Yeah, I agree with the comment. I don't think it's going to be a star as such next year, but I think that's the same about a lot of the players. I think with the competitions we're in, I think rotation will be the order of the day, and it's whether the second string, or if you want to call them second string, can maintain the standards of the first string, and that's the job Eddie Howe's got next season. It's not going to be easy, but I've got every faith in him to do so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, unbelievable. We are going to upgrade in the summer. We've been linked to. Diaby, he can play in Miggy's position. There's plenty of players out there who can definitely are better than Miggy, but I won't just ship Miggy off to another club because Miggy. We've still got a few years left of Miggy, and we know what he's capable of because he showed us last season. God, that feels weird now. Last season. Oh, that feels weird. Saying last season.
I think it depends on what someone offers us. If someone offered us a silly amount, I think we'd probably look at it, and I think we'd look at it and maybe take it if it's 30 million plus for a lad of that age.
Yeah, you've got to look at his age. We've talked about this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's I love him, but if we do get offered the right value for a 29-year-old, nearly 30, you take it and invest it in somebody 5 years younger who can offer similar. Why not?
I just seen this comment from Les. What about a French defender, Upamecano, or something like that?
Upamanapua. Not quite his name. Close.
No, I think he's saying Upamecano. I think that's what he's saying.
Unless that is a name and we're just ignorant to it. I don't want to Google that.
Player? Is that an actual player? Oh, I think he's talking about Upamecano from Bayern. I think that's who he's talking about.
Yeah, he's French as well, isn't he? So I think you're right.
I think
that's definitely not a real player.
Yeah, it's Upamecano. I knew it was not Harry Maguire esque Upamecano. Jesus Christ!
It was one performance. Give him a break. He's a good player.
That was a shocking performance against City, though, wasn't it? That was a shocking performance. I just can't get over how bad he was that game.
How many times? Look, we've seen. I think this is proof. We've seen Botman have 2 or 3 absolute howlers, and then 30 brilliant games. We've seen Cher have 2 or 3 howlers, and then 30 other brilliant games. It happens with centre halves. You can't. This is the problem also with the Champions League. Is a lot of English people will watch one foreign team just the once and make it a just base their entire opinions on football and those players based on that one Champions League performance. A lot of people did this about Botman because he had one semi-meh performance against Chelsea for Lille, and a lot of people made their minds up and go, no, he didn't do great against Chelsea once, and now look how good he's been. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt and look at the rest of the data and watch other games.
John says here, no, Jan, sorry, I thought I just said John, it's Jan. Sorry, Jan. Sell ASM for 50 million, and then you get 2 young players in. I am all for it, at least. They would play all season.
Or sell Miggy for 40 million and then get 1 and a bit.
Jim's is here. This is for you, Alex. Alex, how did you like your first commentary? I think he's been on another commentary before. He's been on the Southampton semi-final second leg one. He's been on the.
No, but that's the first time I've actually had to do the commentary. Normally, I'm the co-commentator, so that's the first time I've actually had to do it.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely outstanding.
So you're the Alan Smith. So Alex is normally the Alan Smith, but now he's the Martin Tyler.
I think if Martin Tyler's mic could have gone down, Alan Smith would have took over. You'd have seen a massive difference. There was no difference between Alex and, in fact, probably the other way around. It perfectly. So we were superb at it.
I enjoyed it. Obviously Paul and Billy are the main watch along commentators on the channel. But if they ever want a co-host or they want me to fill in and do fun games and whatnot, as for you as well, Jack, I'm sure we'll both enjoy it when we get the chance. Maybe we can all have some little fun commentary sort of situations in pre-season when we get the American games and all of that.
Yeah, just have a little bit of a go at commentary. I wonder who will come out on top. Now I'm joking. It's not a competition. This is all fuel on the channel to enjoy the nice enjoy the nice commentary. Kent says here, if we buy Barnes, Gordon will be no use anymore. Kent, I don't know what you're talking about. Gordon's literally 21 years of age. Barnes is older, I believe. And like we said, Gordon's a work in progress. He's not fully done yet, and I think. He's opened his bank. He's opened the bank yesterday to his goal scoring at Newcastle United. He's got plenty of time at Newcastle. So I think even if we buy Barnes, Gordon is going to be used, isn't he, Billy? I thought that's a bit of a weird comment there from Ken.
Well, I think Gordon's got more strings to his bow than Harvey Barnes, I'm perfectly honest.
To be fair, it was a good goal by Harvey Barnes yesterday.
He's a good player. You tend to see him on that one position, don't you? And I think Gordon could do more than that. I think he's played either side, and although he wasn't great yesterday in his midfield role, he's got that in him as well. I don't think Harvey Barnes can do that. So more strings to his bow and probably more potential.
I mean, that one where he tracked back, That was brilliant from Gordon, just tracking back, shoving his defender off, getting the ball back. He's just that sort of player. Jan against us here. Young players wish list is Szoboszlai, Casado, Nonto, Taram, Tierney, Stavic, Tobido, and Trothair.
It's that short long list again, Alex.
Yeah. I don't think some of them are that young either.
Yeah. Who isn't young from there? I swear Savage isn't young. I swear, is that
Tierney's not overly young, is he? How old's
Savage
Tierney now?
I think Savage is 26, 27, maybe even older. Could be even 28.
Yeah,
Kieran
I don't think
Tierney's
Savage is that young.
Kieran Tierney's about to turn 26, so
Wow.
he's probably peak age. He's not a youngster.
Yeah, no. Likes of Nonto, Szoboszlai, they're sort of youngsters, but I wouldn't think Tierney and Savage are youngsters. But anyway, Jan, I'm pretty sure you can pop up another comment with a few other youngsters because there's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of others. That share pass to ASM is why I want Joachim Anderson from Crystal Palace. He's the only one I can see that has the long pass ability in his game and is rough on par with shared defence. I swear Botman's got a cracking pass on him. I swear we've got two centre backs who've got cracking pass range. I swear to God.
Botman's switches have been. I don't know what's happened to Botman's passing. I'm not seeing. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but there were a couple of nice straight balls early on in maybe even in the first 10 minutes, and then we saw no more of it. And the switches seem to have calmed down from his game as well. I think it's because we build up in a different way on that right hand side. I think possibly it's instructional. Maybe it's not Botman's fault. But earlier on in the season, we were seeing some brilliant switches over to the other side, and now it's when it goes to Miggy, it tends to be built up through Trippier and that way. And then the switch comes from Cher to whoever our left winger is. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I'm not seeing Botman do that anymore.
I mean, he was cracking. You on, Billy?
His vision of passes through the middle is still good, really. I mean, it's very rarely he gets cut out. Them crisp passes through the centre of the park, sometimes to Bruno, sometimes to someone more advanced. Yeah, I agree. He's stopped that switch out to the right wing. Maybe it's after that Southampton game where he got cut out about 4 or 5 times. Maybe that's had something to do with it. I don't know.
Where's that comment gone? When does the transfer window open? June 14th, I believe. Am I right there? June 14th?
Yep. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then fixtures come out June 16th, I believe. I need to go back on that. I think I'm right on that. June 14th. Yeah, I'm right there. Did you see Men at Everton? He bit Bournemouth.
He did. He bit Solanke, didn't he? Yeah. Didn't even go back at it. You see him put his mouth to his chest, and then Solanke showing the referee his chest with a big bite mark on it. Ref did nothing. Did nothing.
Mena? Who's Mena?
Yerry Mina.
Oh, Yerry Mina. Oh, Mina. I don't like Mina. I don't like Mina. So Mina bit Solanke?
There's a bit of an altercation between Pickford and Solanke. They both got booked for it, but when they were all getting split up, you saw Mina go to him, sink his teeth into his chest, and then Solanke's showing the reference.
Why is it always South Americans? I know we're not supposed to be. I know that's technically a little bit racist, but I think there's been 3 incidents in the Premier League within the last decade, and they've all been South Americans. It's why?
What is it? Suarez, Mina.
Suarez in the World Cup on Bonucci was scandalous, and Suarez actually wanted to get through and play Germany because he was trying to stick his teeth into a shoulder of lamb.
Oh, that moment as well. Suarez tried to show
right over Alex's head, that one.
He did.
Oh, I did. I was just thinking about when that happened on I think it was on Chiellini, wasn't it, or Bonucci? It was one of the two. And Suarez tried to show the ref his teeth, as if to say he's fouled my teeth, as if that was going to help the situation. It was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Get the dentist on the pitch. Get the dentist on the pitch. Fix his teeth, and then we'll resume play. Honestly, unbelievable. Yeah, and I get what you mean, Alex. I don't think it's being racist. Clearly,
South Americans are, whenever we do a transfer show and we look at South American leagues, whenever you look at recent fixtures, it's always red card, red card, red card, red card, red card. It's just the nature of sort of the Argentinian league, the Brazilian league. They're just a little bit more like that.
Well, I mean, you look at Bruno and you look at Joelinton, you look at Suarez, they're very passionate, aren't they? They're very passionate footballers. They don't care what's going to happen. They do everything to win. I think it's just that sort of mentality. But I don't agree with going on a pitch and biting someone. I think that's a little bit, a bit weird. Like I don't know if Mina had his pre-match food, but anyway, we'll move on.
Tetanus jab.
What do you say, Billy?
You can say tetanus jab then. That is pretty much tetanus jab.
Ian's going to say annoying thing of the weekend was listening to Everton fans thinking they will be challengers next season. I mean, if you were, I mean, we know from experience.
I think there will be. I think there will be. I think they'll be challenging relegation again next season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they're all about sacking the board and everything like that. The board won't be sacked, and I think they will. I mean, you look at Leeds; they've gone down now, but they've been challenging relegation for quite a while. And it's finally happened to them. So I think next year is Everton's year. I think the new promoted teams, most of these new promoted teams, come up and do really well. The Bournemouth of this world, the Fulham, the Forest did all right, but Fulham and Bournemouth fully exceeded the expectations. So I think Sheffield United maybe do all right. Burnley will do. I think Burnley will be brilliant yesterday. Not yesterday. I think Burnley will be brilliant next season. But I think Everton will possibly go down. Call me Swift says Gordon is a right winger.
Is he now? He's played left wing and striker for Everton, so
yeah. I mean, he played midfield yesterday, so there's no Miggy and Max who starting. So there's no way he'd be starting on the wing. So I thought midfield would be an interesting one for Gordon. But look, I was just so excited when he got his goal. Very, very excited. But anyway, let's talk about the second half. I mean, I know we didn't do anything second half really. Did we even have a shot on goal? Second half, I'm not sure we really did.
Lewis Miley at the bar, didn't
he? Yeah, that's the only really thing. Alex has got something up here.
Did Miggy have a shot second half? Miggy had a shot, didn't he, where he should have scored, didn't he? Was that second half? That first half?
No.
So second half. I mean, it doesn't give me all the stats, but XG second half we got 0.11. So I don't know what that was from exactly. It might have been from the Lewis Miley shot. So we went from, the first half we beat them in XG comfortably, and then the second half they beat us comfortably. I mean, the overall XG in that game suggested the game probably should have been closer to 2-2 on scoreline. So 1-1 was, it was fine. I don't know if we can actually see second half stats for other things. I think we can if we go on SofaScore. Hang on, let me just go on to Chelsea. There we go. Statistics for second half. There we go. There's our second half statistics.
Wow.
So only 31. So what does it compare to? So we had 40% possession in the first half, and then the second it dropped to 31. Only 2 total shots in the second half for us to Chelsea's 13. Couple of corners. Hit the woodwork once, obviously, from Lewis Miley. 1 shot inside the box, 1 shot outside. So yeah, very, very minimal from us in the second half. It all came in that first half where we had 11 shots, four of which on target. Only had 1 corner. Chelsea. We did give Chelsea a lot of corner kicks, to be fair, with their 7. And that big chance missed, of course, was Miggy's chance that he fluffed, which was. Was it this one? It was this one. So that 1 shot from Miggy had an XG value of 0.5. So you really got to be scoring that. You've really got to be scoring him. That is a shame. And then Gordon got a 0.45 XG for it, and he buried his. I think that's quite a low XG value considering where it was, but he still had to bury it. So fair enough.
But Miggy had a few chances. He's been having a few chances in recent weeks anyway. Miggy, I mean, that one against Brighton where he was right in front of the keeper, should have scored that.
There's Miley's.
There's Miley's up.
0.07, and he was bloody close as well with hit the crossbar.
Very close. I mean, I think if he just leant over a tiny bit more, it may have gone. The ball may have stayed down a tiny bit. But look, that's his first professional debut. You're going to be a little bit nervous.
Was that a shot from Trippier? I didn't think that was a shot when Trippier pulled it. I thought he tried to whip it to somebody at the far post. I didn't, or am I misremembering that? It says that Trippier's had a shot here. Did Trippier have a shot?
He cares too much about assists. He would never shoot. There was one chance in the other game where he could have shot or banged it, but he didn't. He just cares too much about assists. So I don't think Trippier shot there. Not a chance.
Yeah, I mean, being as we've got it open, I don't know if you want to look at the actual SofaScore stats of people. So Gallagher much of a muchness, dropped to 6.4. Lots of energy, but little end product with it. His energy really went into facilitating Madueke, Sterling, and Lewis Hall. I think 8.1 is very generous to Sterling there. I think it was just from creating the goal. If we look at
Loftus-Cheek's done badly there, and all I thought it was okay, Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, I thought Loftus-Cheek did very well. So
He's gone now,
there. It's pretty monstrous there for Madueke. 88 minutes played. 3 key passes, 1 accurate cross, got a few shots away, 5 successful dribbles, 9 out of 14 ground duels. He definitely dominated target in that position. And Byrne had a few howlers as well when he came on. I think they were only on the pitch at the same time for a tiny bit because obviously target went off and Madueke then went off. Loftus-Cheek I thought had a really good game. I know a lot of people have and ahed about Loftus-Cheek when we've done transfer shows in the past, but I mean, maybe you guys can tell me what you think, but I thought he looked quite useful, strong, physical. Yep. He kept the ball away from us. So even Bruno had a tough time against him because of his physicality. I think this sort of guy would be really useful in our European campaign as sort of a versatile player. You know, he's played as sort of a wing back, midfield. He's played at a good level, international appearances, Champions League appearances. Could be really useful for us potentially, and had a real good game, I thought. Yeah, look at that. I don't know why he's rating so low. He misplaced 1 pass, 2 key passes, 42 out of 43 passes. He was really, really, really solid. I think they've done him dirty here. 2 successful dribbles, 2 out of 4 ground duels. This is why you've got to take stats with a pinch of salt, guys, because that, if you actually look at the meat of it, he's done really well. I think that's overly harsh.
Yeah, I think Loftus-Cheek was very good yesterday. Isn't he off to AC Milan now? I'm pretty sure he's off to AC Milan.
Is he? Has he had a pre-contract?
I think so. I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of what do you call it? I forgot what you call it, but a lot of journalists saying that he's off to AC Milan. And there was a little goodbye. There were links. That's it. There was a lot of links, and when he came off, he did a lot of clapping to the fans, and he was waving as well. So that's pretty much of a farewell. And all these Chelsea TikTok accounts saying that, "Oh, goodbye, Loftus-Cheek." So he's definitely going.
I mean, I think obviously that's kind of believable because Tomori's obviously at AC Milan, and they were friends both from Chelsea. So, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but it's definitely plausible. It has legs.
Jansen's here. The striker we should get here playing for AA Gent, 20-year-old Nigerian.
Gent.
Wow. God, for God's sake. Or is it Ghent?
It's Ghent, yeah.
Yeah, Ghent. Double A Ghent. 20-year-old Nigerian. Wow. 12 million would do it.
Is that the
boy, does he score?
Is that the funny one, is it? Is that the one who came from somewhere in Africa and managed to... I think it's this kid.
I think his name is Gift Orban. I think his name is.
That's the one. Yeah, he went and played 1 game in the Moldovan Premier League or something, and then went to Belgium and is absolutely ripping it up. Yeah, there's been a few articles about him and stuff. It's still early days though, very very early days for him.
22nd of July to 30th of July is the US tour. I'm very excited for that. Maybe one game I might not be able to watch, like 1 a.m. Bit ridiculous. But I think I'll be able to watch the... We've got quite a few pre-season games. A lot better than last season's pre-season games. I mean, last season we were in Austria, played a few little games. But this season, this is what's going to happen nowadays. Being in Europe, being one of the best teams in Premier League, being not best, but one the big.
We are one of the best teams in the Premier League. We came forward.
Oh yeah. I mean, in terms of I think I was talking about trophies and winning the Premier League consistently with that because Man City and that. But yeah, I agree, Alex. We're one of the big boys now in the Premier League, and this is what's going to happen every pre-season or Premier League will recognise us when they're doing sort of stuff, or other competitions will recognise us and invite us over. I mean, when we got invited, was it to the Benfica Cup last season? This is gonna start happening now, Billy. We're gonna start going into these preseason games as one of the big boys and being better competitions, and it'll be a lot more of a fun preseason than other seasons, just going off to different hot islands and just playing little games. But this is a lot better now.
Yeah, because I mean, a top 4 club, it's money in the bank for people that want to invite us to their country. I guess we're going to be followed by a lot more people around the world now on the back of this season. and it's good for them to have us there. And the American tour point in view. Rangers, of course, we've had testimonials against them before. I remember 1 years ago, and that'll be a good fixture at Ibrox. But yeah, I think pre-season there'll be harder games, but I think there'll be games that'll do us stand us in good stead, because last year we didn't really have the quality until we got to Portugal, did we? We had Mr. Lackenmacher at one point pre-season.
Yeah. Our opening pre-season games last season were a little bit weird. 1860 Munich and Mainz and stuff. Although obviously Mainz have spoilt Dortmund's party and made Bayern win the league, but even so, it was a strange pre-season. Whereas I think it's 18th of July we've got Rangers straight into the European Tour then. So I would imagine we probably add 1 or 2 fixtures to that as well. Maybe after the European Tour they'll do a few games at St James's Park that'll be advertised. As they did, I thought that was a really exciting double match when we had the Atalanta and Bilbao games back to back on a Friday, Saturday. That was great for all the fans. Hopefully they do that again this season.
Well, the fixtures, the teams involved in the summer series are Aston Villa, Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea, Fulham, and of course Newcastle United. So there's plenty of good games there. Aston Villa, they've really impressed me this season. Brighton, another one who's really impressed me. So there's going to be some good preseason games in there. Just before we start the player ratings, that goal from Gordon yesterday will have done his confidence the world of good. Hope he comes back firing next season. I'm pretty sure he will. I mean, we may see another Willock story, because Willock, for me, really impressed in pre-season. And look at him last season. Look at him last season. Really, really improved, hasn't he, Alex?
What, Willock or Gordon?
Well, kind of a mixture of both, really. Talk about Willock doing well in pre-season last season, and talk about how good Gordon's going to do this pre-season. Yeah,
I think we did have a slow start to the season in terms of wins, but I think we were playing okay. We've been through 2 periods of the season. We had 2 little lulls where we were getting the XG and creating the chances, but it wasn't going in. And then we had 2 good periods where we were just overscoring and blowing teams away. So it happened in it was 2 little roller coaster dips and high points last season. So hopefully next season we can be a little bit more stable with it. And in terms of the pre-season, for Gordon, this will be very, very important for him. You've mentioned how stamina-wise and getting up to scratch and technical ability and all of that. I think a full summer with the lads, training, understanding the system, different ways he can play in our system and shape. We might see some tinkering as well. Obviously, it's been 4-3-3 with a very, very specific identity. The only sorts of changes have been when we've gone with the Joe Linton Willock left-sided rotation, or we've just gone with traditionally inverted wingers. It's been one or the other, whereas next season we might see something different. So he's got a long summer to work with the whole squad. Hopefully we get early transfers in. And I'm quite excited because he might mix it up a little bit. Obviously, we had that period of time where he would bring Isak and Wilson on, and we would slightly change the shape when we were chasing a game or trying to force goals. So I can imagine he's going to work on some emergency shapes. If we're in this specific situation in a game, this is how we're going to address it. If somebody gets sent off, or if we're chasing a game, we're going to do this shape, and then we get a full summer to practice this with everybody. And it's going to be really fun to see, because obviously I think most of that was created on the fly towards the end of the season. When we brought Isak on, and we got all the questions: are they going to play together? Blah, 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 blah. Whereas, a full preseason now will get this all set in stone. And I can't wait for the first game already. The first competitive game will be great.
Bless me there. Just had a little bit of a sneeze. But anyway. Sky Germany reporting we were in talks with Dominic Szoboszlai. Spoke to agent, and fee and wages won't be a problem. We're not in the know, Toon Gamer. We're not in the know until the club or announce something, or
Is Sky Germany saying that now? I know officially we'd watched them. We'd watched him, but
until we get a proper confirmation of Sky Sports Germany or Sky Sports, or here we go from the man himself, Fabrizio Romano, or the club announces something, we'll bring it to you on the channel straight away. So, right, before we go into player ratings, everyone, please make sure if you are new and you're liking what you see, we've just got over 500 viewers at the minute, nearly 600. So I appreciate all you guys taking your time to watch this live stream with us today. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are new and you like what you see. we know the season's ended now. We've got plenty more content coming up this summer, so please stay tuned to watch all that content with us. If you guys are liking the stream, please make sure to hit the like button. Just it increases us in the recommendation pages with YouTube, so we just stay up there with everyone else, and people can find the channel that little bit easier. If you want to donate to the channel, it's not too late. Make sure to donate as well if you can. Hit the $sign in the live chat below. Right, let's kick it off, Billy. Dubravka, with your player ratings. You guys can get involved in the chat below. So what are you rating on Dubravka, Billy?
I thoroughly enjoyed his performance. I enjoyed the theatrics of some of his saves, for one. The long distance shot after the really good save made from close in. He managed to dive to a ball that was about a foot away from him, was fantastic. But I thought he had a really good game, really solid, looked good with his feet, did a little tiny bit of sweeper keeping as well. I'm going to give him a 9.
Alex?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think his passing, technical ability on the ball was really safe and comfortable. I wasn't really scared when he'd got it. A couple of saves were exceptional. The long balls were decent. A little sweeper keeper action that I wasn't anticipating from him at all. Yeah, I think 9's fair. I think it's close to as good as you're going to get from a keeper.
Yeah, I agree. 9. I think he would have got a 10 if we got a clean sheet or didn't concede. But Dubravka, I mean, I've always rated him as a keeper, even in the Steve Bruce days. I've always rated him as a keeper. I thought he was brilliant when he first came in for his debut against Man United. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. Just he couldn't do anything about the goal, really. Couldn't do anything. But apart from that, I thought he was very solid. So I give him a 9. Right, let's move on to the skipper, Trippier. Alex.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock him down for the own goal. I don't think that's his fault. I think he's on the line. He knows nothing about it. He can't really do much. And then how else did he do? I think he got beat a few times on his side, but he put in a few real strong blocks. When I'm not sure who it was, Sterling, Lewis Hall. There were a few different players inside the box. And Trippier always made sure to block and tackle at the right time. It was okay. How did he actually do statistically? It was a tough game for him. He didn't see as much as the ball as we used to. Only 54 touches, 27 accurate passes. When you compare that to what we did against Leicester, he got almost 5 times that in passes. I haven't given him a rating yet, have I? Probably got to give one. I'm gonna give him a 7. I thought he was okay. I think he was any worse than that. I'm not going to mark him down for the goal.
Billy, Trippier.
Yeah, I think 7's a fair score. I'm not sure that any of them really performed to the usual standards during the season. 1 or 2 exceptions, perhaps. Trippier was beaten a few times, wasn't as evident in attack, and had a hard time really against Sterling at times, but no real defensive support around him either, with Gordon and Miggy in front of him. So, yeah, I think 7's fair.
I think Trippier was a little bit good at defending yesterday. Made a few little blocks here and there, but I feel like 7's a very fair score, so I give him a 7 as well. Matt Targett, for me, I don't think Matt Targett was particularly good yesterday. Yes, he hasn't played too much this season. He has a little bit of an injury, hasn't got that much game time. So for me, I'll give Matt Targett probably a 6. Alex, Matt Targett?
I'm going to give him a 4. I don't think he was good. However, I really like Matt Targett. I think he's a decent player. I think a part of that is a compliment to Madueke, not necessarily a criticism of Matt Targett. I think that he was up against a very, very difficult winger who was he was quicker than him, more physical than him, and it was just a tough game. I mean, Matt Targett's, he was involved in 8 ground duels. He won 1 of them. Madueke just had him all game. Dribbled past 4 times. He did get a clearance off the line, and he was okay. 0 accurate crosses, 0 accurate long balls. It was a tough game for him. I'm not going to judge him on this long term, but it was a poor game for him. I'll give him a 4.
Chippers, stop it. Stop it now, Chippers. Stop it. Honestly. I swear, oh my God, Chippers, just lay off it now for one stream. Billy, Matt Targett.
Yeah, I think what you saw yesterday was a result of not playing hardly at all season and not being fully match fit for a long period of time on the pitch. I think left back's obviously a part of the pitch where we're going to upgrade next season. I'm not sure the target will be here next season, if I'm perfectly frank. I'll give them. I think 4. Yeah, I think so. I think if we get ourselves a top quality left back, I think maybe it will be. Maybe it'll be a number 2 to whoever comes in, or possibly number 3. Yeah, I think 4's fair. I thought it was horrific at times.
Right, so is that a 4? Right, let's move on now to the Dutchman, Botman. Alex.
I don't think he really did anything wrong. I think he gets an 8 from me. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. Is it his fault that we didn't have as much left-sided cover during the set piece? Possibly. I mean, probably not. You'd imagine he'd be further back contesting aerial things. So it's not really his responsibility. It depends on how they want to set it up. But 90% pass accuracy, really, really solid. A couple of killer balls through the middle to try and open Chelsea up and get us going. Really solid in the duels as well. Just a tidy performance from him. I think 7's probably a little bit too low because he was better than Trippier. I think an 8's probably fair from me.
Yeah, right. Benny says here, as a City fan, Almiron overrated Grealish. I think Grealish has a good season, good end to the season this season. Anyway, let's move on. Billy, Sven Botman.
Yeah, I think centre halves generally have it quite easy against Chelsea, seeing as I haven't got a striker. But I thought Botman was solid in what he had to do. No mistakes. Didn't look into any pressure really. Passing was crisp and through the middle. Yeah, I think 8's a real fair score. Definitely.
I think he did have a lot to do though, because obviously
with oncoming runners and things. Yeah.
Because Madueke kept getting past target, so Botman had to then
go out and cover. Yeah,
he had to make a decision.
Marking a man is such. It's not.
But decision making, he was very good for a youngster, because there were so many situations where he had to think, right, Matt Target's been done here. Do I need to go or should I stay? And that is one of the hardest decisions in football for a centre-back. Do you go out and meet them and leave the space? Is somebody behind you going to run in if you scanned enough? Like, that is a horrible position to be in when your fullback gets done and you've got to then, as a centre-half, make a decision, go or stay. It's real hard. And Botman generally gets it right most of the time.
Right. Bottom man of the match for me. That's definitely not because of his profile picture. I can assure that. But Botman for me, I agree with both of you guys. 8 for me, reasonably fair score. Yeah, he weren't worse than Trippier. And I think Botman had a reasonably okay game. Yes, he had a lot to do because Madueke kept getting over target, but I think Botman did had an okay performance. Right, Fabian Schär, Billy.
I'm going to go the same mark with Schär. I thought he back to almost his best yesterday. Solid. Passing ability was fantastic. Of course, 2 or 3 of those passes out to the right flank yesterday, and one, of course, led to the goal. So, yeah, I think 8's fantastic.
Alex, Fabian Schär?
Yeah, I think the overall performance was a 7 kind of performance, but then the pass that created the goal bumps it up to an 8. I thought there was 1 or 2 real decent long balls, the switches that make it an 8. But again, it's kind of what Billy said. There's not. Havertz was very deep at times and in funny places, and it's, as difficult as it is for Chelsea because they've got no target man. It's also difficult for our centre halves to know where they're going and what they're doing. That's the difficulty of a false 9. Obviously, Havertz just isn't quite as mobile and nippy as a lot of the. When you think of false 9s, you think of Messi and Guardiola's Barcelona, and you think of Jesus in the City team and things like that. And Havertz is not the profile of any of those kind of false 9s. Havertz is kind of he's in between a traditional 9 and a false 9. I don't know where his best position should be. Probably a 10. I don't know why they've got him. It doesn't really fit the system at all, wherever you try and put him.
His best position is in Germany.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But he did win the Champions League, so...
He did, yeah.
So they'll love him forever for that. Have you marked? I still have to mark him. Bloody hell. Fabian Schär. I think I can't give Botman an 8 without giving Fabian Schär an 8. I thought they were both reasonably okay. One didn't do worse than the other, so I'll give Fabian Schär an 8 with all the comments. I agree with Billy and Alex. Right. Mr. Bruno. I'll kick this off with Bruno. I don't think Bruno was up to his best yesterday. I think, I think you'll agree with this one, Billy, because Longstaff weren't really in the squad, so Bruno had to do a lot of physical work as well. I think when Longstaff isn't in the squad, Bruno's really has to step up a game in terms of defensively and physically. So I don't think Bruno had a good game yesterday. So I'll give Bruno a 5. Right, Alex. Little raise of the eyebrow there.
A 5. Okay. I mean, fair enough. Brave to give the opinion on that, but I don't agree with that. I think when you factor in that he'd got Anderson and Gordon in front of him, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he had 2 players in front of him that are not midfielders, not the usual midfield. It was such a different combination, and Bruno had to clean up so many messes. To be fair, and he played the whole match. I don't think he got subbed off. Yeah, he played the entire match. 85% pass accuracy with an unconventional midfield. 8 out of 11 ground duels, so he won pretty much all of them. He got us 4 free kicks, 4 tackles, 2 interceptions. I thought he was everywhere. He tried his best. Chelsea had a lot of the ball. I think in his ideal game, he would have preferred some of his normal midfield partners with him to try and challenge that Chelsea midfield, and he couldn't really. We didn't have the personnel available. It's just not really his fault. But I thought he did as much as he could have done, considering he'd got 2 pretty much forwards in front of him in midfield. I thought he was solid. I'll give him an 8.
I've had a Castori.
That's how you see it, Jack. It's your opinion.
That's fair.
Anyway, Billy.
Yeah, you stick to your opinion, mate, even though it's completely wrong on this occasion. We've spoke about the physicality of Loftus-Cheek and Chukwuemeka when he came on, was carried on in a similar role. Bruno in the 6 yesterday, I thought was outstanding with no support around him. As Alex has stated, I think 8, maybe even that's a little bit harsh. I'm going to give him a 9. I thought in a defensive manner, it's not the usual Bruno performance. We see him all over the place, prompting us, and he's still doing that at times. A performance like that again when we haven't got much of the ball. Seriously, I thought it was outstanding as a defensive midfield, and I'll give it a
9. Where's that comment gone?
I'd give him an 8 if you give him a 7, though.
Where's that comment gone? Oh, there you go. Clark says here, Jack taking this poor role too seriously. Just a bit. A lot of people rating him a little bit of a 7, 8. All over the shop. Jack, what are you doing having a 5? 5, come on, Jack. Fez is here. A 5.
To be fair, Paul has been underscoring Bruno for like the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know what's going on, but Paul constantly underrates him by about 2 points. I don't know why.
Chipper says here, Bruno gets a 5. It's okay, I meant the one on BGT. A lot of people do disagree. But yeah, it's an opinion, guys. It's an opinion. The match was yesterday, which is why I do like to do my match reviews straight after.
Because he's forgotten.
Because I have forgotten most of the.
You'd probably give him a 2 yesterday.
I think I gave him a 6 yesterday. I think I gave him a 6.
Why have you given him a 5 today?
It got worse overnight.
I forgot. A 5, says Spacebar. Laugh face, laugh face, laugh face. Anyway, let's quickly move on. Gordon. I'm definitely not starting this one off with Gordon because I may give him a low score. I'm joking. Alex, we give him Gordon. Oh my God.
This is a real tough one. Jack is Gordon. I mean, maybe.
As if. Well, I look like a few players. I saw someone saying I look like a young Stuart Pearce the other night. Who do I look like?
I'm going to give Gordon a 7 because of the goal. I thought he had a 5 performance, and then the goal and a couple of bits drags him up to a 7. I thought it was a poor performance in midfield. Again, not his fault. He's not a midfielder. He is definitely a wide forward. Very good goal. Obviously, the good movement in midfield to arrive late into the box and get that was brilliant. But that's not his natural position. I think it was a case of Eddie Howe wanted to give him minutes, and we had personnel issues. Just throw him in. He's a good enough footballer anyway to survive a match like that in midfield. It just wasn't the ideal situation, and he did okay with it. So he got his goal. He's off the mark. It's done wonders for his confidence. He had the interview. That's great for him going into pre-season now that he's broken his duck. That's awesome. it was fairly tidy. 11 out of 12 accurate passes is accurate, but again, they didn't give him the ball very much. Not a lot of responsibility, and kind of one of the reasons Bruno had to do a lot. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I feel like I'm being a bit harsh on him, but he has been played out of position, so yeah.
Billy?
Yeah, he's broke his duck with the goal, so that's a very good plus point. Obviously, I just felt that against the side that were pushing on to us, we needed more than what he could offer us in midfield. And again, that's not his fault. Defensively, didn't really help out much. Didn't really get involved. Didn't have the ball much, to be honest. I didn't really see him on the ball that much. But for the goal, you got to give him a 7 for the goal.
I mean, he had 27 touches, and in comparison, Elliot Anderson, also in midfield, had 40. So Gordon really didn't see much of the ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Gordon a 5 plus 2. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm giving him a 5 plus 2, which equals 7. So don't worry, guys. I'm giving him a 7. Don't worry. Don't tap your keyboards too much, or your iPads or your phones. 5 plus 2, which is a 7, for the right reasons. For the goal, really. I mean, it's an impossible miss, really. It came off the keeper a little bit, but Gordon, like you said, Billy, I didn't really see him on the ball a little bit much from what I can remember. Clearly, I can't remember much. But yeah, I didn't see him on the ball too much, but I'll give him a 7. Right, Elliot Anderson, which a few people say who looks like me for some reason. I don't look like Elliot Anderson, do I, Billy? Alex?
No, a little bit. It's a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Elliot Anderson and Anthony Gordon mixed together.
Anthony Gordon mixed together. Oh, I give up now.
People like saying Ian Dowie. That's the worst one.
Elliot Anderson. Billy, we're giving Elliot Anderson.
I thought he was more involved than Gordon. I like his eye for pass and eye for attacking move. Yeah, he links well with Maxi. He links well with anyone on the left-hand side that's got a bit of flair about him. Yesterday, he actually took a bit of heat off Maxi at times, took players away from him, which was good. He didn't do that in the previous game for Isaac, and I thought he improved on that yesterday. I'll give him a 7.
7. Call me Swiss says, but I'm watching on my microwave, Jack. Oh, I don't know why it's so funny. I'm just one of the people who just laugh at stupid things. I'm watching on my microwave. Let's quickly move on. Alex, Elliot Anderson.
I don't think he's done enough for an 8. So he's having a 7, but I think he had a better game than Gordon, but it wasn't enough to give him an extra point. But we don't do halves on this channel, so he's getting a 7. He got the assist. I agree with what Billy said. He combined quite well. There was a few moves that broke down. I think he's not as good at combining as sort of Willock. Willock's obviously real hit and next gear with that. And Anderson's time will come. He will learn with training with the squad and playing. Took some heat off Maxi. He looks physically ready for the Premier League. This is a Chelsea side that are okay. I know they've had a shocking season in the league tables, but you could see they're not a bad team when we played against them. So Elliot Anderson looks ready. He looks like a Premier League player. He looks like he's ready to come in and help us, especially next year. He should be in the starting lineup for cup games and in some of the European fixtures as well. He looks like he is at the right level, and with the homegrown quota that we need, I don't see him going back on loan. I think that's quite lucky for him. I think if he was foreign, he wouldn't maybe be getting this treatment. I think because he's local and he fits the quota, that's helping his case, and he's going to get more guaranteed minutes because of that. But credit to him, he does look good enough. He looks good enough to cut it in the league. So hopefully we can see some more from him in pre-season again, and more minutes from him next season in the Premier League as well.
Tripper says here, I'll give Paul Glant a 10 for his cooking on Saturday night on PD's show. Billy, have you marked Elliot Anderson yet?
Yeah.
Or was it just me?
7,
Yeah, you have. I'll give him a 7. I thought he got the assist for Anthony Gordon, and I thought, playing midfield, not his strongly suited position, but I think Elliot Anderson was decent yesterday, so I'll give him a 7. Maxi, Alex, we give him Maxi.
I'm half tempted to give him a 9. I thought he was brilliant.
Do it.
I think 8's probably a little bit more realistic, but I'm going to give him a 9 purely because I don't think anybody expected him to come in and have a great game. I thought he was exceptional. I thought he was one of our best players going forward. Again, it helped having Isak and Anderson on the pitch at the same time. We've said that. I know a lot of people criticise and say, well, he shouldn't need other players to play well, but he does, because they overmark him, and that's the problem. Whereas because Isak and Anderson were also quite dangerous, they couldn't overmark him in this situation, and he got more space. Statistically was incredible. He completed six dribbles, 5 key passes. He obviously drew the attention and set Anderson away to create that goal. Defensive work was outstanding. He won 8 out of 15 ground duels. He was tracking back and actually trying to win the ball back. On the counter-attack as well, he wasn't selfish. He played a nice long ball and released Isak. It was a really good long ball to find him as well. He's really lost. He's definitely. I think we can officially say he's lost that selfish streak now. He's always trying to find other people in better positions than him. If anything, I think he needs to be a little bit more selfish again, because I think he's doing so much to try and find everyone else. I think that was one of his best performances of the season. When you factor in the all-round game, I know he's had better performances offensively, but I think he did so much for the team in terms of his structure, his pressing, winning the ball back, not losing it in our half. He was nice and well-rounded and careful. I think that's the first instance we can see that maybe he can play in an Eddie Howe team. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think Maxi had a very good game yesterday. Like you said, Alex, looking for players a lot. And I think Maxi had a very, very good game and looked very good attackingly as well. Always looking for players. A lot of overlaps, not a lot of overlaps from Anderson. Gave it to him. And yeah, exactly for the right reasons. I'll give him a 9. Billy?
Yeah, well, I think 9's fair. You think Maxi's performances this season, his best performance anyway, probably coming against the best 2 defensive right backs in the country in Azpilicueta and Kyle Walker. Reece James aside, of course, he's injured. He probably would have been played yesterday had he been fit. But yeah, I thought he was brilliant. I really did, especially first half. Second half, we were a bit under the cosh, and so he didn't get the chance. He probably should have been used more second half actually as a way out, and we didn't do it enough. But
I don't think he should have been subbed off. I'm surprised.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I think 9's a real fair score. I thought it was outstanding.
Now, next, Miguel Almiron. Miggy, for me, he had a lot of chances he should have scored, but I don't think Miggy had a great game yesterday. So, okay, I'll give Miggy a 6. Billy?
Yeah, I agree with you. 6. I thought he was got into some great areas and just didn't do anything with it. And people have often slated Max for final product. There was none for Miggy yesterday at all. 6, definitely.
Chippers. Maxi 6.5 plus 2 plus 1.5 equals Jack's rating for him. You're indeed right there, Chippers. So who's going bold if we win the Champions League, Jack or Alex? Don't think we've discussed anything like that.
Don't really matter.
I'm not going back to the dark days of lockdown where I shaved all my hair off. So I'm not going.
I'll tell you what, though. Talking about Maxi, next year in the Champions League, we may have to play a bit Steve Bruce on in some of these away games, and he'll be fantastic for that counter attack.
Indeed,
that is true.
If we've got Real Madrid or like a Bayern Munich, Maxi and Isak breakaway counter attacks, and Willock as well. If we can get Willock in the side, those sorts of breakaway counter attacks, we're going to need players like that. If we're going to have to sit in a low block, I know we tried to we overpowered Brighton. We tried to match Arsenal. We did very well. I think somebody like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid might be a step too far, unless we obviously bring in some elite personnel over the summer. But even then, clubs like Bayern and Real Madrid are 5 to 10 years ahead of us in terms of the squad quality.
Alex, Miggy Almiron.
I think I'm going to give him a 7. I'll give him more than a 6, but I think I think he gets the 7 because of the work rate and because he was good positionally. However, he couldn't get round Lewis Hall at all. Lewis Hall was exceptional at shutting down everything from that side. And I think if I'm going to apply the same logic that we do to Maxi, he's got to be more clinical. He got the highest XG chance of the game was his shot that he missed. He needs to improve his shot selection. He goes for, I said this at the time in commentary, he tries the Juan Mata when he was at Chelsea, left-footed curl in the top corner, but he tries it all the time. And similarly, he's added the right foot into his arsenal when he's crossing. He needs to improve his shot selection. He needs to try low-driven shots, near post, far post. He needs to try something else because
Predictable.
he's trying to score literally top bins every time. Just get it on target, mate. It might look what Sterling did. He just got it generally on target, and we got they got a goal from it, from an own goal.
I think Kepa stood where he was because he knew where he was going to shoot, basically.
Well,
and never that angle down.
That was the right-footed one. He should have gone right-footed, but he doesn't really use his right foot. And then Kepa therefore knows he's going to use his left, and he knows where it's going. If Miggy goes on his left on the right side, he's going to aim for the left for the keeper's right. So he positions himself to save the shot.
I mean, what I will add to that is, again, this is something I mentioned yesterday. Hopefully, this is something that's just coachable. Because it's not like a missing piece of talent or a lack of technical ability. If you just tell him, Miggy, don't do that shot all the time, do this shot as well, practice it in training, then hopefully we can fix that next year. It's just a case of coaching and him obviously listening. Fingers crossed.
I mean, he could have dragged it near both with his left, couldn't he? He could have dragged it near both with his left, really. Didn't have to curve in the far corner. Yeah, low and hard into the left corner, into the bottom corner, right-hand corner.
It was perfect height for Kepa for that shot from Miggy. Perfect height. Kepa knew exactly what to do. But anyway, let's move on. Alexander Isak. Alex, we're going to rate Isak.
That's a tough one. I'm going to give him... what shall I give him? I don't know. That's a real tough one.
Isn't it?
That's a funny one. He didn't quite get involved in the game enough, but I'm going to give him an 8. I think that might be a bit flattering. However, a couple of times where he received the ball, he literally swiveled on the spot, tried to get a shot away. They did get blocked, but you could see the technical quality there was extremely high. He was trying to get involved. He came. He played in a different way. He came short. He came really deep to receive the ball a couple of times. Turned, drove. That their centre backs didn't follow him properly. So we started a few attacks in that first 20-25 minutes because Isak was doing really well. Statistically, he was really solid. 93% pass accuracy. We only misplaced one pass. A couple of successful dribbles. But yeah, he was starved slightly. We were either going down the wings. We were just going down the wings. That's what we were trying to do. So he was only really getting the ball if it kind of popped to him in the box or if he came deep to receive it. So I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he did really well with what he was given and what he could do, but it was just a tough game for him. I think if we'd have had a better midfield, he would have got more of the ball and we would have seen a bit more out of him. It was just one of those games, really. I thought he did really well.
I'm going to give Alexander Isak a 7. I thought many times in the first half he came deep to get the ball, spread out to the wings, and then get back into position up top. The second half, and a lot of the players up top weren't really doing much. So just for that, I'll give him a 7. Billy?
I think we need to have two different game plans for when Isak plays and Wilson plays. And I think yesterday we played a Wilson game with Isak in the side. We have to involve Isak as much as possible when he's playing, whereas Callum Wilson's obviously more of a physical battering ram type striker who's a fox in the box. Yeah, I think we didn't really play to his strengths yesterday. When he did have the ball, I thought he was really, really good with it, and I think 7's a fair score for him.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of 7s in there, 8s, and even a 6 from AB. A 6 for Isak.
I do agree it was probably a 7 performance. I'm just giving him the 8 because of the technical level of some of the things he did. Having somebody literally spin on a dime and spin and have a shot. We've not seen players of that technical level for quite a while in our side, so it is nice to see.
I think he was frustrated, and that's why he kept coming deep to try and get involved. And we should have gotten involved way further up the pitch without any shadow of a doubt.
Isak was 8, tried but quite isolated by the defenders, says Peter. Right, move on to the subs now. Who came on first? Was it Jacob Murphy?
Substitutions. We had 69th minute was Wilson on and Murphy on. Right,
so what rating Wilson out of 10?
I don't have to recall him getting the ball. Hardly touched it, did he?
He received it once in midfield and tried a little drive and run and then lost it.
So I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6.
I'll give him a 6.
5 or 6. Alex, 5 or 6?
Only him a 4.
You're a 4.
I don't like that substitution in that. We needed the reverse, really. We needed somebody to come on and release the pressure. We needed him to hold the ball up a little bit, drive, take the sting out of the game, because we were under the cosh quite significantly in that second half, and I don't think he did enough. But again, we know what he is now. He's a mini battering ram and fox in the box, and he's had a couple of better games physically recently, but we just need a bit more from him.
Jacob Murphy, don't really recall Jacob Murphy really getting the ball, so I'll give Jacob Murphy a 5. Billy?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't remember him getting involved much. I think he did a bit of defensive work, helping out. He did go on one run and lost the ball, same as Wilson did. But yeah, again, he didn't really get involved, did he?
No, he didn't. Your ratings? Were you going to rate?
Yeah, I think 5's fair.
5. Alex?
I'd give him a 4 as well.
Give him a 4. Yeah.
He lost every single duel he attempted. He tried 5, lost all of them. Didn't complete his only dribble because he got tackled. Only completed 2 accurate passes. He was on the pitch for about 25 minutes, including the added time. Coulda, shoulda done more, really.
Yeah.
If you think he scores a harsh, wait till he gets to the left back. It would have been Dan Burn, wouldn't it? Sure. Or was it Miley? Did Miley and Burn come on together?
I think Burn came on quite relatively late.
So Burn and Miley came on at the same time, 75th minute.
2 joys coming on at the same time. Bloody hell. So Burn, don't really recall him doing anything, really, because that was relative.
He was fucking
I recall him doing a lot.
although, yeah, it's just come back to me. It's just come back to me when he that poor pass which João Felix was sent through, and
but there was more than one.
Yeah, it was more than one. It's just come back to me. Thank you for raising your eyebrows there. It's just come back to me. So for that, yeah, I do recall Dan Burn doing quite a few things. So I'll give Dan Burn a 4. Alex?
Very generous.
I'm going to give him a 2. I think that was... I know it was a substitute appearance, but he could have lost us points there. We could have walked away with 0 points because he came on and was not focused at all. Not at the races. He wasn't up to speed with the game. We could have conceded 2 goals from his fault within a 5-minute period. He lost all of his duels he attempted. It's fine. He's been really, really solid in the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks. He's put on much better performances, but I'm hoping this is just one. This is just an accidental performance, and he's not going to do this again. But he nearly, that reminded me of who was it? Was it who did we get knocked out of the cup? Was it Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah.
Or was it even? It might have even been last season. It was when we played Jamal Lewis and Elliot Anderson as sort of in that left backs. I can't remember which season it was. It reminded me of that. It was just an awful showing. Like put us under so much pressure, and he's lucky Botman was so talented and made those tackles.
Brentford? No, it weren't Brentford. Was it? No.
It was either Sheffield Wednesday or Cambridge. I can't remember which season it was. Whether it was this one or the one before.
Yeah, I think it was Sheffield Wednesday.
It might have been Wednesday.
Wednesday. I do recall
Lewis and Anderson lost the ball about 15 times in that position and kept giving away really dangerous opportunities.
Billy, Dan Burn?
Yeah, he was horrific. And you can't even blame it on match fitness because he's been playing all the minutes God sends. So I think 2's fair.
2's fair. I don't think a 4 is that bad, to be honest, for Dan Burn. A lot of 2s. A lot of 5s in the chat. 5.
He didn't do anything. 4, how does he get a 5? 4, he literally did. He got 5 accurate passes. That's it. He did nothing else. He nearly gave up 2 attacking positions. He didn't win a single duel. So you're giving him a 5. You're giving him a point per pass he completed. That's insane. That is madness. That is madness.
Jack looks like Neil McDonald. Nah, only kidding. Neil McDonald.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Neil
Lewis.
McDonald. I can see that.
I seem to look like everyone.
Hey, look, you didn't say Ronald McDonald. Look, you didn't say Ronald McDonald. You should be happy with Neil.
Ronald McDonald. My hair's not red and it's not curly. Anyway, Lewis Smiley. I'm going to give Lewis Smiley a 7. I don't think he put a foot wrong really when he came on. Unlucky not to get his first goal, so I'll give Lewis Smiley a 7. Alex?
I think I'm going to be generous and give him an 8 because that's a big game to come on to, as a substitute. The game is in the balance. It's not like he's been subbed on when we're well in the lead. It's 1-1. If we make a mistake, we could lose the game. There were a couple of times, because obviously he and Bruno both wear orange boots. There was a couple of occasions where I was like, is that Bruno? Oh no, it's not. It's Miley. And the fact that I couldn't tell because his technical level was really solid is massive testament. He looked fine. Physically, he's like 6'1". He looked physically okay. His movement was okay. Positioning, passing. He looked absolutely fine. It's a real small sample size, but I really liked what I saw. I hope we can see some more appearances in pre-season, because I think instead of having sort of Gordon and on these makeshift midfielders, let's just use him because he looks really, really tidy. So I'll give him an 8. I thought it was, and then hit the crossbar, real solid from him. Really excited.
Billy?
Yeah, I think that's fair score for him. For a 17-year-old kid to come on at, a Champions League winning ground with vociferous fans and what have you. Both ends of the pitch he contributed. Defensively, he got in some good interceptions too. Very good going forward, and the shot as well. He just couldn't tell he was a 17-year-old. Looked like he'd been, an experienced player. So lots of potential there. And level 7 Dave, Christ, that's yeah. So yeah, I think 7. I think 8's great.
Billy's lost it. Anyway, who came on after that? Was it Jamal Lewis or Jacob Murphy?
It didn't Murphy. Yeah, it was Lewis. Yeah, and that was basically I think that was basically a.
You marks on mute,
You're
Alex.
on mute, Alex.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. 2 touches, 2 passes, and he lost his only aerial duel. He wasn't really on the pitch long enough to do anything.
Yeah, we'll just give him a no answer of a score there. Is that for both? Is that for Jamal Lewis? Anyway, let's move on to Eddie Howe now. Eddie Howe, Billy.
Yeah, he didn't have any choice in who could select. Tactics again, players out of position. I'm going to give him what we should give him most weeks, which is a 10, because apart from the substitute of Wilson, which was a bit odd. Yeah, I'm going to mark him down a mark for that 9.
A 9. Alex.
I don't know. I don't think he did anything different or better. I'm gonna go with an 8. I thought he was good. I think, if I'm being harsh, the goal we conceded is down to him and the coaching staff not preparing them defensively for that set piece. I feel like it's harsh to criticise a player because there wasn't a man on Sterling. If there was a man on Sterling and he messed up, fine, cool, but there was just nobody covering that run at all, which it's down to whoever's building the set piece defensively, and it's got to go to the coaching staff as their fault. So I'll give them an 8 because we played a weakened side with a lot of rotations, and we've managed to come away with a point from Stamford Bridge, which is incredible. Reasonably good game plans attacking wise, but I'm going to go with an 8 because I think the set piece it's got to go down to the coaching staff really.
Stephen says King Eddie 6, bit late on subs, but I think it was 68th. Says Stephen. Clarky says here, I thought Alex was speaking sense then. Says Clarky. Bit of a. Anyway, Eddie Howe. I'll give Eddie Howe a 9. I thought his starting level was relatively attacking, and I thought he would go out there and do a job, and it kind of did. So I thought Eddie Howe did relatively okay. I didn't think he was a 6 or a 7, but I think a 9's a reasonably fair score. So give Eddie Howe a 9. Right, that is it, everyone. That is us for the match review. Hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream as always. Big thank you to all our new subscribers or continuing subscribers watching this live stream, taking time out on this Monday night to watch us live here on the Toon Review. Really, really appreciate it. Big thank you to all you guys. I think big thank you to all the super chats and new memberships and subscriptions. Big thank you to Billy and Alex for joining me tonight. Big thank you. Thank you to everyone for watching this live stream as always. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone. More content coming up through the summer for new transfers, new news, new daily news report, and everything like that. So big thank you to all you guys for your continued support. Make sure to like it as well, so we stay up there in the recommendations pages, if I can get my words out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching as always, everyone. We'll see you later. Have a great rest of your night. Howie the lads.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Come back and check out the